Rises, and welcome to Tales from the Gulag. Um, well, it seems that I have finally crossed the line. You may not have seen my last Tales video, well, at least not on YouTube, because 5 hours after my posting, I got notice that it was taken down because I apparently violated their guidelines on what you can't say about the CCP virus. Oops, COVID. I think they call it spreading misinformation or something like that. Now, they didn't actually say where I erred, but simply provided a link to their naughty list. I checked it out, and I'm not sure whether they actually looked at my video, but still, I'm prepared to bow to their wisdom. This one was a warning, but still, whatever it was, they said that if I did it again, I would be banned from uploading for a week, and then on the third strike, then I'm done for good. No more posts on YouTube. So, here is my humble and sincere apology to YouTube for my transgressions on my last video. Dear YouTube, thank you for your benevolent wisdom. Thanks to your qualified panel of left-wing activists for doing my fact-checking. I'm spared the monotony of sifting through all of that evidence and the tedium of having to think for myself. How comforting it is to know that thanks to your tireless efforts to make sure no one disagrees with the narrative of the left, millions will be spared from harmful misinformation. And far be it from me to spread misinformation about COVID. It would be useful to know how I actually erred, to know what facts offended your sensibilities, so that I can avoid being naughty again, but clearly you know best. After having looked at your generic list of possible things you don't like, I would now like to offer my humble and sincere apologies for the things that I may or may not have said in my previous Tales from the Gulag video. So to YouTube, my most humble and sincere apologies. I would also like to apologise to Xi Jinping for calling him Winnie the Pooh. I too was bullied at school. Others used to call me nasty names like Springhead and Fuzzball because of my curly hair. So I feel your pain. I feel your distress for that abusive epithet. I can offer the consolation that good grace and humour does heal over time. Still, I do understand that being a brutal dictator is hard and stressful work. When you're trying to build up a global hegemony, image is important. With the sight of you riding at the head of all those tanks and rockets, how can the people of Hong Kong not love you? And why do those terrible Uyghurs need all those kidneys anyway? Surely in a socialist world, it's those with plenty that should give to those in need. Next, my apologies to the World Economic Forum. I'm sorry for calling you nasty, evil, immoral people. Hey, we live in a post-truth world where there is no good and evil. Trampling over human rights while shilling for brutal dictatorships, all in pursuit of your pathological need for power and money, is not evil. It's just a quaint quirk of your personality. That said, I'm fully on board with your desire for the redistribution of wealth. Having the wealth of the world trickle upwards to the top 1% is surely a kind of wealth redistribution. So surely it can't be that bad, can it? Hardly evil. And besides, 1% is better than none, isn't it? I too look forward to tilling your land in rags, feeding on my morning gruel to feed me for the day, and renting that land from you while you survey your domain, all knowing that you are looking after my welfare, making sure that my gruel keeps coming to make me happy. That is a future that I think we should all embrace. And by the way, happy skiing holiday in Davos. I hope it went well. I apologise to those dedicated scientists at World Health Organization, and particularly to, what's his name? That guy who was the health minister for another brutal communist dictatorship before the Chinese made him head of the WHO, Tedros Adhanom. Now, look, I know you have a tough gig, and I didn't mean to impugn your integrity. I understand that we all have to please our boss, and I suppose she has exacting standards for his underlings. Just ask those two doctors who first alerted the world to this new virus thingy in Wuhan. Just ask Dan Andrews. Just ask the universities around the world. Ask Peng Shui, if you can find her. It's funny now that I think of it, that she was among the first to deny the virus's existence. I wonder if he got YouTube's warning. As I said, we all have to please our boss, so I understand where you're coming from. I must also apologise to those fun-loving guys that gave us such terrifically effective vaccines. I'm sure that without them, we would face a plague worse than the Black Death of medieval times. I did not mean to impugn the effectiveness of those vaccines. I said I was no doctor or pharmacist, and that is still true. How foolish of me to be deceived by my own lying eyes. I was just some poor schmuck who rolled up my sleeve because I was told my life could go back to normal if I had my shot or two. I was told that it would keep me from getting the disease, only to have to do it 3 times, not 2. I listened to those idiots who alleged that most Israelis have had 4 doses and are still getting struck by this terrible disease. We all know how deceptive those Israelis can be, don't we? But what do I know? If you are prepared to give me your best Boy Scout pinky promise that they're effective, then that's good enough for me. And with those apologies, I hope we're all good, YouTube. I beg you though, please don't ban me. To do so would be to consign me to the outer darkness. I might even have to go over to Rumble Parlay, where there's wailing and gnashing of teeth. So please, YouTube, for pity's sake, have mercy on me and don't ban me. So I hope that apology was humble and sincere enough. If not, then I'm prepared to go home and practice some more so that my sincerity is up to standard. Meanwhile, have fun in Davos, keep up the good work on censorship, and keep those vaccines rolling.